Hello, boys and girls. Today we are continuing working with rounding whole numbers, and we're going to focus on both strategies, the standard algorithm and the vertical number line. Now, I want you to use which strategy you like. So if you like using the vertical number line, then that's what I want you to use. If you like the standard algorithm, that's what I want you to use, okay? So we will have an exit ticket today, and we are going to play a quick rounding game. I'm just going to you maybe already played the rounding game, so I'm not going to show you how to play it. But on your whiteboards right now, we're going to do a little review, and I'd like you to solve these 4 questions. The first ones are patterns of 10, and then the next ones are just putting commas where they belong. Remember our cha, cha, cha slide? So go ahead, pause your video, and work on these 4 review questions. Awesome. So if you want to take a second to look up here at my answers just to double check that you did those correctly. Again, these are just review that we've done the last week or two. Here we go. I want to show you just these strategies to get our brains moving because it's been a few hours since we've done rounding. We have our vertical number line where we have our base number, our top number, and that midpoint number. Just a reminder, we don't round to the midpoint number. We round either to the base or to the top because we're trying to make it a friendly number. All right. And then our standard algorithm is 0 to 4, stay on the floor, 5 to 9, climb the vine. Remember, when it stays, that number we underline stays the same, and anything before it. And climbing means the number we underlined gets bigger by 1. The ones after become zeros. I, in my class, say big, fat zeros. All right, let me start by just showing you. I'm going to start with the standard algorithm, and then we'll go over some answers. So our first one is we're rounding to the nearest 1,000. So I underline my thousands place. I look to my right, and I see my riddle. 0 to 4, stay on the floor. 5 to 9, it's a 9. So I'm going to climb the vine. Remembering this 3 is the number that's climbing. So we're going to add 1 to it. All the other numbers become a 0. The numbers before that 500,000 and the 40,000, they stay the same. So my actual answer is 544,000 because you just added that 1,000 to the thousands place. Okay? I'm going to show you the 10,000s. Again, it's the same thing that we're doing, the same steps. If you're doing the vertical or the standard algorithm, you're just going to underline the 10,000s place. A strategy we used in my class yesterday when we did the standard algorithm is we took out those place value charts to help us line it up and be nice and neat when we're doing it. I'm going to give you the answers. So before I do, if you want to pause your video and practice these on your own, and then double check with me. Here are our answers. So I rounded to the 1,000, the 10,000, and the 100,000. Now remember, one of the reasons why we round is to make friendly numbers. These friendly numbers are way easier to add, subtract, multiply, or divide with than the exact answer. But we also have to remember, because we're not dealing with the exact, our answer is just an approximation. It's just approximately. It's not the exact answer. Okay? All right, you guys are going to try some now. You have a different problem. I can try to make this bigger if you need it, or change the color so you can see it better. But round 617,240 to the nearest 1,000. Then you'll go back to this number, round it to the nearest 10,000, and so forth. If you want to pause your video, I'm going to go through and just start solving them. But you can pause your video and solve it and then check back. So what I'm doing first is I'm rounding to the nearest 1,000. So my baseline is that number. So I would keep the front numbers, and then the ones after become zeros. And then I add 1 to make it the next one. So 618,000. And then what's halfway in between there? What's my midpoint? Would be halfway. Then I can go through and plot where that is. And when I plot it, it's a little less than 500. We've got, like, it would be 1,000 or 617,100, 200, 300 would be about here. Now remember, we don't round to the midpoint. We either do the base or the top. And we can easily see that 617,000 is it's closest to. It's only 240 away. Okay. For the next one, I'm going to do the standard algorithm. So we have the nearest 10,000. I look to my right and I say my riddle. 0 to 4, stay on the floor. 5 to 9, climb that vine. So it's climbing, which means that 1 in the 10,000s place gets bigger. It climbs, it gets higher. The ones after it become big, fat zeros, and the one before stays the same. So that number before stays the same. 1 plus 1 is 2, and all the rest are big, fat zeros. I'm just going to erase this so I can do the last one here. The last one is rounding to the nearest 100,000. So again, I underline my 100,000s place. I look to the right and I say my riddle. 0 to 4. Okay, well, I know it's between 0 to 4, so I'm going to have it stay on the floor. What number stays on the floor? Hopefully you remembered it's the one that's underlined, stays. All the rest after become big, fat zeros. So 600,000 is rounded to the 617,240 rounded to the nearest 100,000 is approximately 600,000. Let's keep moving. Thanks for double checking your work. Here we go. Oh, those are the answers, sorry. I want to know what strategy you like. Does it matter which one? No, but I'm just curious. So if you could raise your hand if you like the vertical number line, the one we learned on Monday, putting that base number, the top number, and the midpoint. Okay, put your hands down. Raise your hand if you like that standard algorithm with the riddle, 0 to 4, stay on the floor. Awesome, put your hands down. Great. I'm just curious, it doesn't matter which one, whatever works for you. On your whiteboard, I would like you to solve these three. Feel free, I will underline these maybe to help you see them a little better. We have the nearest 100, the nearest 1,000, and the nearest 10,000. Notice we have 3 different numbers over here, okay? Go ahead and try those out. Pause your video and then check back to see your work if it was correct. Here's our correct answers, 2,800, 6,000, and 50,000. All right, we have a word problem. Just a little reminder, as we're going through this, you would do roadblocks to break up our information. So watch as we solve. Empire Elementary School needs to purchase water bottles for field day. There are 2,142 students. Principal Smith rounded to the nearest 100 to estimate how many water bottles to order. Will there be enough water bottles for everyone? Okay, I'm going to underline our question so we know what we're answering. So we're rounding to the nearest 100. First, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to simply write out our number. And we're rounding to the nearest 100, which means I need to underline the hundreds place. Again, you're going to pause your video. You can choose your strategy. You could do the vertical number line, or you could do that standard algorithm with our riddle. Pause your video, solve this, and check back with me. All right, so I'm going to do the standard algorithm first, and then I'll show you the vertical number line. First, I underlined my hundreds place because that's what we're rounding to. We look to our right, 0 to 4, stay on the floor, which means the number I underlined is going to stay. It's not going to change. It's going to round down. All the other numbers behind it become big, fat zeros. The number in front stays the same. So it's approximately 2,100 water bottles. Now, a great way to check my work is to just solve it another way. So I'm going to solve it using that vertical number line, just a way to check my work. Let's get started. We underlined our hundreds place because that's what we're rounding to, and that's our base number. We take that 2 and that 1, and all the rest become zeros. And then we add 1 to the hundreds place to round up, so 2,200. The midpoint would be halfway in between, which is 2,150. And now I can plot it. 2,142. So it's pretty close to 50, but not quite there. And I can see that it's definitely closer to 2,100. So that was me rounding. But my question is, will there be enough water bottles for everyone? We need 2,142. Ooh, if he orders that many, he's not going to have enough. So no, there will not be enough water bottles. Awesome job. All right, guys, let's keep it moving. I want you to tell me how to solve this. So if you want to solve it first, just to kind of get your brain thinking of how you did, I want you to think that you're the teacher. So I want you on your whiteboard to write out the steps of how to solve this number. The number is 2,421 rounded to the nearest thousand. So take a minute on your whiteboard. How do I round this? If you were the teacher teaching me, how would you teach me to round this number to the nearest thousand? Go ahead, pause your video, write this out, and then show your homeroom teacher. If you're my friends that are virtual, if you just want to email me, I'll write that down so you remember. My virtual friends. If you just want to email me how to round this, okay? When you guys are done with this, you'll go ahead and there's an exit ticket in today's math folder. I hope you had a great time rounding. Thanks, guys.